It's beer o'clock on Real Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Beavertown Brewery and it's a can of the Appellation Bramley Apple Saison. It's 8.7% ABV. There's a look at the can. I think it's one of the strongest beers I've ever tried from Beavertown. I'm looking forward to this. Let's get the can open into a glass and see what we get. So, beer in the glass. I'm kind of hoping it's not too cidery. I'm not a fan of cider and I was a little bit scared buying this beer that being a Saison, which is very sharp, very sour, and of course Bramley apples being so sharp and sour that it might kind of clash and maybe turn into some kind of weird cider. Let's find out. So, beer in the glass, slightly hazy, nice levels of carbonation. It's a very small one finger head. Let's get the aroma. Whoa. Blimey. I've smelled some sour beers in my time just before tasting, and you get a sense of just how sour a beer can be, and this just smells and senses really sour. You can get the Bramley apple. It smells a little bit like grandma's apple pie. Let's dive into this 8.7% ABV beer from Beavertown. Cheers. Oh, it's making my mouth crinkle up and contract like a crisp bag on fire. Oh my goodness me. It's so sour. It's super super It's a Stone the Crow's beer. It's a beer because it's a beer. It's not a cider, and that was my initial worry that in my mind I would kind of associate this beer with being a cider, but it's not. It's all beer. You get the graininess of the beer in there. You get the kind of maltiness in there. You get that lovely kind of apple sourness from the Bramley apples. And of course you get that sourness from the Saison, that funkiness. It's very carbonated too. That funkiness in there. It's a very, very good tasting beer. Oh, it's and strangely, you think that the apple's gonna dominate. You think that the apple's just gonna, that Bramley apple and the Saison is just gonna completely dominate everything in this beer, but it's hoppy as well. I'm gonna take a stab at this. I'm gonna take a stab at the hops in this beer. I'm gonna take a massive wild guess that this might be some Centennial in the beer. It's just got this certain bitterness on the back end that's not quite a Bramley apple bitterness or a Saison bitterness. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Centennial. It's just, and it's a very light bitterness. I'm not saying it's a double IPA crazy bitterness, but I think the trick that they've come up with here to make this beer work, because it's like cramming together two hugely sour products in a Saison and a Bramley apple, and they've managed to make it work by adding some hops, and it's made things a little bit more calmer and a little bit more drinkable in this beer. It is super drinkable. A crazily super drinkable beer. Of course, the Bramley apples in there with the sugar, they would have fermented and they would have added to you wouldn't have needed to add so much malt in the beer, should I say. So the apple's done its job in that the yeast can ferment on that. So that's why I think the beer is nicely thin and nicely drinkable. But yeah, it's top quality. But it's that added maltiness and breadiness together with that hop finish that makes it a beer. So you got the two big fundamental parts of the beer, which is of course the hops and the malt, but then you got this kind of added Bramley apple that really does screw with your mind. And I was almost scared to open the can, but no, it's worked. It's worked, and I think this should be put as part of Beavertown Brewery's main range. I think that is a really well worked beer, and I think everybody should be able to try this. It's 8.7% ABV. There's no. Just want to double check. 8.7% ABV. There's no indication of that in the taste. There's no alcohol kick. There's no reason to believe that it was 8.7% ABV, and that's another trick with this beer. I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna give this beer, blimey, a 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer reviews. Cheers.